Welcome back to the John Fredericks Show. Time now is 8:39, and when you hear the coal miner's daughter, Mike, that's the Grammy version of all the queens of country. Real good song. That brings us right up to our next guest. Back again. Welcome to have him, Terry M. Jarrett. Terry, welcome to the John Fredericks Show. Colonel Mike and Dr. Michael Schuer.
Great to be with you guys, and thanks for the great lead-in. The great Loretta Lynn. Boy, she can really sing, and certainly evokes positive memories of the past, and especially with coal miners, hardworking individuals that work to take care of their families.
Yes, sir. And you are a former state utility regulator in Missouri. You're still in Missouri, right? In private practice now, right, Terry?
Yes, I am. I'm a private practice attorney and consultant with Energy Matters.
And you used to write for Breitbart, didn't you, for a while on energy?
Yes. I've written for Breitbart. I have an article in LifeZet recently, Laura Ingram's website, and various other publications around the country.
Right. Thanks for coming back on the show. Terry, the last time we spoke, Donald Trump was elected, but he was president-elect, and now he's the president. And I wanted to bring you back on to talk about energy and coal. And tomorrow, it looks like we have Senator Joe Manchin coming on about 9 o'clock tomorrow's show. Tell us, what do you feel? What's the direction since Donald Trump has been in office, and what's your views?
Well, certainly it's been very positive. When he was running as a candidate and as president-elect, he talked about saving coal mining jobs, bringing the coal industry back, rolling back some of these Obama administration initiatives that were killing the coal industry. And he started out very positively. On February 16th, for example, he signed a bill that rolled back an Obama regulation called the Streams Rule. This would have shut down many coal mines. It was just an unnecessary regulatory burden on coal mines, and he signed the bill and voided that Obama-era rule. So that's a great start, and we hope he'll continue down this path.
Are you speaking with any people inside the administration or with Energy Department? Are you consulting with anybody?
Well, I've talked with folks. I'm not officially consulting, but I've talked with folks, and certainly this is a big issue for the country. Donald Trump rightly is focusing on jobs, and we need electric power. We need cheap, affordable, and reliable power to power our economy. That's what made our country great, was cheap and reliable and affordable electricity. So him focusing on that, naturally he's going to turn to a type of energy policy that is going to supply that, reliable and affordable energy. And coal has to be a part of that mix. He's really focusing on an all-of-the-above strategy for energy: coal, natural gas, nuclear, renewables, hydroelectric. As I said, all of the above strategy. We need a diversity in fuel sources to generate electricity, to make sure that we have plenty of reliable and affordable electricity to power our economy.
Terry, with regards to coal, tomorrow I have also a guest on, Larry Cierenzi of Cierenzi Energy Consultants. He worked on the pipeline years ago, Alaska Pipeline, and he's talking about 20 in 20 years, meaning 20 million barrels in 20 years. And he said there's no way that we can get off fossil fuels for the next 25 to 35 years and be competitive. He said if China and India and other developing countries are going to use fossil fuels, we have to be in the game, and we have the fossil fuels and the coal to do it. So I don't, renewables are good. It's a good start. When you look at electric prices, using renewables, let's say West Virginia versus Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, you're looking at a difference of 4 cents increase kilowatt hour.
Right, and I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. We do need our fossil fuels to remain competitive. we have plentiful natural resources in this country and on the North American continent with Canada as well. So, I think President Trump, of course, has said he's going to bring back the Keystone Pipeline and the other pipeline there in North Dakota. Great news. Again, creates jobs, but it gives us that source of energy that we're going to need in the future.
How does it look for Kentucky now with regards to coal coming back? What would that do to something like the Kentucky economy, Terry?
Oh, it would be a godsend to them. I know they've just been hammered by these regulations that have killed the coal industry, or tried to kill the coal industry, I should say. Lots of unemployment there in Appalachia, and hopefully we can start opening some of these mines. Trump has indicated that's his goal is to keep these mines open them back up, make them productive, and that's what we need to do. And certainly, a lot of people argue that coal is dirty and polluting, and certainly in the past we've had some issues with coal in the far past. But today, coal is very clean. Coal plants run very cleanly, lots of environmental controls on them, and we're even moving toward really less carbon-intensive coal, because late last year, a new plant in Texas called Petronova outside of Houston, Texas, opened, and it is a commercial-scale post-combustion carbon capture.
Wow.
Coal plant.
Wow.
And it captures more than 90% of the carbon during the coal burning process, and then sequesters that into the ground. So, we're moving toward better technologies that, so people that worry about the environment, you're not going to have to worry about it, because we do have clean coal. We are developing the technology to allow us to continue to use coal in a safe, responsible manner for generations.
Terry, I would think with all the technology out there, like, we could do an Uber app, we can do all these apps. There's got to be, one of these great universities in America where we pump money in, where they can do this clean coal. Don't you think so, Dr. Shore?
Yeah. Coal is essential. It always has been. And, if, Mr. Jarrett, Mike Scheuer, anyway, speaking to you, to me, as bad as closing those plants was, it was made infinitely worse by a national government led by people who didn't give a darn about what it did to communities and individuals and the ability to raise children where they were born. To me, that was one of the most offensive periods that I have seen in American history. They, said we'll retrain them. Yeah, we'll retrain them. Right, for some, they were making $40 an hour, and we can retrain them to make $11. It's just extraordinary. I don't know why the American people weren't up in arms over that.
Oh, absolutely, and it was a terrible time, as you said, for families, and for the left, I guess, or the liberals, who always claim to be pro-family and for kids and for family. But this certainly wasn't a family-friendly type of action.
They would have created ghost towns in those areas, wouldn't they? There would have been just ghost towns throughout Appalachia where the coal is mined. What else do those towns have?
Oh, that's exactly right. And and again, it was really for no reason other than
ideology.
It was ideology. Yeah. That's exactly right. Yeah. And as I said, if we can burn coal responsibly, we can burn other fossil fuels responsibly. And nobody's talking about just burning stuff willy-nilly here. We're talking about responsible use and management of our natural resources here to produce energy to provide people with jobs and to power our economy. And, as long as we keep our eye on the ball there with that, we're not going to have problems with the environment. We're going to, we'll take everything reasonably. for too long we haven't had any adults, I think, making these decisions.
Amen, sir.
They've just been making them because of their ideology, without thinking them through, without caring about the people, without thinking about unintended consequences. And we never really had any sort of comprehensive, long-term strategic plan when it comes to energy. And I hope, and it appears that the Trump administration is going in that direction, and I hope they continue to do that. And I think folks need to continue to keep the pressure on them to do that, because that's what we need. We need this very comprehensive, strategic vision of what our energy is going to be for the next couple of generations, and we need to continue to work toward that. And the natural resources we have here, including coal, have to be an important part of that mix.
I would agree entirely with that, except on the point of unintended consequences. The Obama administration going after the coal mines, everything that would have happened if they had succeeded in killing that industry was entirely predictable. They didn't care.
Well, Hillary said that, we're going to raise your rates and we're going to put you out of business.
It's like everything that's happened in Iraq since George W. went in there was they call it unintended consequences, but it was perfectly predictable. But this coal business was even more cold-blooded and uncaring, because everything that would have happened, families broken up, people not working, towns closing down, there was nothing that was unpredictable there, I don't think, sir.
Right, and certainly, when these places began to close down, and we started having these problems, there certainly wasn't any attempt on their part to take a fresh look at anything and say, we might have made a mistake. We need to sort of modify our approach. You're exactly right. They just doubled down and continued down the wrong rabbit hole.
Yep.
No, Terry, they did take a different approach. They said we needed to take in 68,000 Syrian refugees.
Yeah.
They were more worried about illegal immigrants and refugees than they were about their own people. And I'm sure you're monitoring the state of West Virginia, who has the new governor, Jim Justice, and he's a billionaire also who owns the Greenbrier. Jim Justice made in his inaugural speech, made a point to say that we will try to put some of these counties and cities that are totally decimated in West Virginia to the point that they can't even fill the schools. I mean, people just left cities and towns. It's like ghost towns you talk about, Mike. And he's saying we got to get in there and bring back at least a good portion of the coal industry, good paying jobs, and bringing back jobs to build roads, to bring West Virginia out of the funk. I mean, it's decimated West Virginia, Terry.
Oh, absolutely, and yeah, that's the governor certainly has been very positive. Joe Manchin, who you said you're going to have on tomorrow, has been a great voice for coal miners in Washington. So hopefully we can cooler heads now are in charge, and we can start to get things turned around.
Just a touch of common sense, I think, also, sir.
I think that's what the name of this show is.
Absolutely.
I think that's the name of this show, Terry. It's called Common Sense for the Commonwealth, the John Fredericks Show. By the way, John is in Washington today. He'll be there. He was there yesterday. He'll be there today and tomorrow. He's covering the White House press briefings because, as you know, he was the vice chairman of the Trump campaign in Virginia. So
yes.
we're just filling in and doing the best we can for a couple hours. And we thank John Fredericks for us to be on the show. And we thank guests like you for coming on and informing the listeners. And as you know, we try to put it up on YouTube as quick as we can. So if any listeners are driving or at work and they can't get to hear it, they'll hear it on the YouTube channel.
Well, that's great. And I always enjoy coming on to your guys' show, and you do great work. We try, Terry. Try to spread the message. Common sense, you bet.
Common sense. Yes.
Common sense for the Commonwealth. Terry, what's your plans in the next? Are you still going to be just doing law for a while, or are you going to be advising any states or utility regulatory commissions? What's your plans in the next coming months?
Well, I'm going to continue in private practice for now. Certainly, there's lots going on in the energy industry, with all of this turmoil, with coal and renewables and all that's going on there. So I don't want for work, for sure. So I'm going to continue to follow this, and certainly I'm out there and available to talk to folks that want to talk about these issues.
And where else are you posting some of your articles? What was that website?
www.countoncoal.org.
Right.
And I'm also, probably shouldn't announce anything officially, but am working on putting up a blog site. So I'll be sure and let you guys know what that web address is when I get it up and running.
Well, you know who Dr. Michael Schuer is. He's got the blog non-intervention.com. Great stuff.
Yeah.
It's up there at least every week or every 2 weeks, whenever he has a chance to get it up there. And Terry, we want to thank you once again, for coming on the John Fredericks Show and sharing some of this.
You're terrific, sir.
Yeah, great information.
Absolutely. Glad to do it. And anytime you want to talk about energy, don't hesitate to call me.
Thank you so much. Good talking to you, Terry. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.